Good morning and welcome back to the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. My name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you guys joining us this morning. If you're watching us live, thank you for that. If you're watching us later, we do upload these shows to www.livingstonparishnews.com/podcast. We also have a free section on our site dedicated to the coronavirus. It is at www.livingstonparishnews.com/coronavirus. I do apologize for being late this morning. Had a dog escape. It's very interesting what you have to deal with in the morning that you don't normally deal with during this stay-at-home order. So I'm sorry for that. We are running about 20 minutes late. Do apologize. Hope you're able to join us. If not, hope you can watch us later. Do remember you can. We do upload these shows to our website if you want to watch them later. Of course, Facebook keeps the video active, so you can go back and watch it at any time. Current traffic patterns, looking at your usual essential workers heading to work. Minor delays at 4H Club Road, River Road, and 190 in Denham Springs. You're also looking at minor delays at Range Avenue and 190, and minor delays at, I'm going to do it. I just totally zonked out. Jubin Road and 190. There it is. Said 190 too much. Got into my head. 67 degrees is your current temperature. 87 is your high. So it's going to go up about 20 degrees from now. However, got a minor cold front. Not too bad. Going to drop to 58 tonight, but that's going to bring some thunderstorms into the evening. So it's going to be some overnight rain. So be prepared for that. But you shouldn't be rained on if you're heading home from work this afternoon. A lot of this rain is not supposed to start until this evening. We'll see how that works out. Yesterday, the novel coronavirus cases have increased to 17,030 in Louisiana, 652 deaths, 1,983 hospitalized on 490 ventilators. 99 cases in Livingston Parish with one death, a Livingston man, on 278 tests, 278 tests, excuse me. So one more time, 99 Livingston Parish cases, one death of a Livingston man on 278 cases. So far in the United States, 15,000 people have died. Both the governor and Governor John Bel Edwards and President Donald Trump yesterday sort of delivered the same message that the deaths are just too high, but it does look like the mitigation efforts are working. We're seeing hospitalization slow, which is good. That's the flattening of the curve we talked about. We've kind of pivoted away from number of cases. Knowing who has it is good, or who has had it is good. But it's the number of hospitalized and the ventilators that are really the focus of the modeling. Is healthcare going to fail or not? Now, the good thing is that over the past couple of days, we've been trending in a good direction. The governor actually used that word yesterday, that these numbers that are coming in are a good trend. So that means that we're on the right path. Louisiana is. Now, that also means that at any given point, this could change. One of the warnings that the governor gave yesterday was please understand that this Easter is going to be a little different. This Easter weekend, celebrate with your family at a distance, preferably digitally. Of course, your immediate family you've been living with, you can celebrate with them, but try to be responsible. We don't want this to spike back up again, because right now, as we're looking at it, there's a very good chance. Now, there are no promises being made, but there's a good chance that at least on April 30th, the stay-at-home order will be lifted. Now, the governor said that this is entirely up to the citizens of Livingston, not just Livingston Parish, but Louisiana. How far this goes, how long this lasts. The longer that we practice those mitigation efforts, practice the social distancing, and adhere to the stay-at-home order, the more under control they can get the spread of this virus, which seems to be and all this seems to be working. Of course, that was echoed by President Donald Trump. And the sooner we're going to move out to the other side. Now, what does the other side look like? That was actually talked about a lot yesterday. Is what does the other side look like? What does May 1st look like? But before we jump into that, I want to remind folks that even going into this weekend, even Easter weekend, one of the things the governor said, there is no Easter break baked into the stay-at-home order. It's still, no big gatherings, nothing like that. Remember your mitigation efforts. Washing hands for 20 seconds or more with soap and water. Disinfecting common surfaces at home and at work. Control your cough. Don't touch your face. I always seem to forget that one. Don't touch your face. 6 feet of distance, that's called social distancing between you and others, especially in public places. no gatherings of 10 or more. And the governor said preferably the state would have you not gather at all. If you've got a family of 10 at home, well, that's one thing. But if you got a family of 4, it needs to stick to the family of 4. And finally, if you are sick, stay home and utilize telehealth to get in touch with your doctor. Now, again, we were, kind of rolling into Easter weekend. They were asking people to, I guess you can say, not do these gatherings and that kind of thing. So please, keep those things in mind. During the press conference yesterday, the governor, we were talking about it right before I went into those mitigation efforts. What does this look like on the other side? Dr. Anthony Fauci at the national level talked about it. President Trump talked about it. But we're going to talk about what the governor talked about. And that is that, and we've mentioned this before, it's going to be a while before things go back to normal. There's going to have to at least be some tried and true therapeutic treatment for this. And we're going to talk a little bit about a positive in that direction a little bit, and a vaccine. Otherwise, we could watch this spike right back up again because it's very virulent. It's very easy to spread. COVID-19 is, and it's a problem. And so when you're looking at May 1st and beyond, there's probably still going to be some strict rules in place with regard to social distancing and those, going to be asking those for you to follow those mitigation efforts. Of course, if you don't want to, that's your choice. But we could end up, busting it wide open on May 1st and no stay at home. And all it is social distancing and mitigation efforts. And by May 15th, we're all back inside. So, it's good to remind folks that this is a long-term deal. Yesterday, the governor had a New Orleans-based doctor on his press conference who said a couple of things. But the first thing we want to talk about is that he threw out the number 120 days. Okay, if you're doing the math, that is 4 months. So he discussed a sort of a 4-month timetable for at least the healthcare world to sort of recover from the initial, I guess you can say, barrage of people that came into the hospitals, trying to find, going through those clinicals, trying to find a tried and true therapeutic method to treat this. Now, from there, he began talking about Louisiana as a whole and suggesting that people need to be a little healthier, manage your stress, reducing salt, reducing sugar, and exercising at least 30 minutes a day. I know that at least 2 of those points are pretty, I'm not exactly sure the best word to put it, but almost sacrilege here in Louisiana, and that would be less salt and less sugar. But it's true. One of the things that they're talking about as this rolls out, and of course the doctor was African American. His name was Dr. Corey Hebert, and he was there to talk about sort of the large contingent of Black people who have died from this virus very quickly. Right now, you're looking at 70+% of deaths are in the African American population. And for the most part, they had underlying conditions, hypertension, diabetes. But for most deaths, there were underlying conditions. So really what they're trying to say is that these underlying conditions and being decidedly unhealthy, when you have a virus that is this easily spread and has that very dangerous pneumonia component, if you're not in good physical health, it's very hard to fight it. So that's something to remember. It kind of ties into that. What does this look like beyond this time? I think you're going to see a lot of people changing their eating habits. I mean, a lot of you look at me every morning. Our family has. We're starting to eat more balanced meals. We're having, regular meals during the day, trying to find out what diet works for us and trying to exercise more. We walk outside every day, that kind of thing. So, something to consider moving forward is that your personal health definitely affects your ability to fight off disease. And that includes things like cancer. So please keep that in mind. That was, what comes after the April 30th date was discussed a lot yesterday. A whole lot of we don't know. But the one thing that they do know is better health among a population makes it easier to fight off disease. And also, anybody that thinks that once the stay-at-home order is lifted on April 30th, if it's lifted, if we stay on this trend and if it's lifted, if we go right back to living the way that we were, this could spread rapidly again, and by May 15th, again, we could be inside. So please keep all those things in mind. I know it's a lot to digest. It's, there's still 3 weeks of the stay-at-home order left, so there's, a lot of people really aren't thinking about that just yet, or if they are, they're thinking sunshine and roses. So please start thinking about it. Of course, April 30th is the last day. By the way, that is exactly 3 weeks from today. So another reminder that the governor wanted to throw out there is that he is aware that May 1st is a Friday, and that a lot of people are going to say, well, it's time for me to get on out there, and got to remember, and I'm sure that message is going to get stronger and stronger and stronger as we get to that date, that social distancing and mitigation efforts are going to have to remain in place until the hospitals are prepared to deal with folks on a large scale in terms of vaccines and therapeutic treatments. Right now, they are not. Now, of course, we don't, thankfully, with the mitigation efforts and the stay-at-home efforts, we have no date anymore within the next 10 days, which is about as far out as the modeling goes, to run out of beds and ventilators in the New Orleans area. That's great news. That is great news. That means all this is working. So please, please, please continue to do it. Yesterday, the governor did announce that the state has finally received the CARES Act portion of unemployment benefits. So now, if you are a 1099 worker, a gig worker, self-employed, or an independent contractor, you may sign up for unemployment benefits. Of course, that's now up to $847 a week. That's $600 from the federal government, $247 from Louisiana. If you have already signed up for benefits, you don't need to reapply. You just need to recertify yourself. Of course, the governor has waived the requirement that you look for work. He has also waived the 1 week grace period for the state, so you immediately start getting benefits the next week after you sign up. However, the recertification process has not been waived, so it is up to you to continue to recertify yourself. Otherwise, you'll have to reapply, and of course, you could miss a payment, and for some people, that is a big deal. That payment is going to make all the difference in the world, so please keep that in mind. Of course, LA Wallet is still free. It's a digital version of your license, and they will keep that free so long as they have to keep the Office of Motor Vehicles closed. So please keep that in mind. If your license is due for a renewal, you can download the LA Wallet app and update it. And we've already gone over being healthier, and it'll be a while before it'll be normal. However, some guidelines that came out yesterday, CDC, I think we discussed this a little bit, is recommending that you wear some sort of mask. They do explain how to make cloth masks on their website, something in public, just as an extra precaution and extra mitigation effort to go with that social distancing. Of course, there are a lot of people locally that are making cloth masks, and we'll talk about that in just a second. Just a few days ago, the Attorney General, Jeff Landry, announced that he had secured 475,000 hydroxychloroquine or Plaquenil tablets for Louisiana and for Louisiana hospitals. Those are going to be used, as it looks like that drug does help treat, in some cases, COVID-19. Not all cases are treatable with hydroxychloroquine. It doesn't work on everybody. However, side effects are so low that doctors are willing to give it a shot. Of course, Joe McHugh, Ward 2 Marshal, we talked to him last week. He came home. He said that they had given him hydroxychloroquine and that it had helped. It was his belief that it had helped. His doctor put him on it right away as soon as he got in the hospital, and by day 2, he was feeling better. So good signs from that drug. Now, a lot of people want to say, why don't they just come out and say that it's awesome or that we're going to try it and this kind of thing? You have to remember, there's a lot of governing laws over doctors in this country. As long as this has not been truly tested in the appropriate FDA manner and has been approved by pharmacy boards and doctor boards, they can't come out and say it's awesome. That opens them up to a whole world of litigation. So you have, and especially here in Louisiana, you have to remember we live in a very law-centric state. It's very burdensome in a lot of areas. This is one of them, and nationally, it's the same thing. That's why Dr. Anthony Fauci continues to say, it's not tested. It is untested. If local doctors want to try it in their clinical and going through the process, they can. That's up to them. But you can't come out on national TV and say that it's awesome if it's untested. That's opening you up for a lawsuit and just not worth it at this time. They're securing the drugs locally. They're trying to use them as they can to see if it treats people. Right now, that's going to have to stay good enough. Dr. Alex Bu, who is with the Louisiana Department of Health, is governed by the same set of rules. So long as there is no test, they are not going to come out publicly and say that it's awesome, but people are still going to use it, and our doctors are still going to use it, and hospitals are still going to use it, and that's what matters. Now, of course, Plaquenil is used mostly for people with autoimmune disorders such as rheumatoid arthritis, MLS, multiple sclerosis is what that is, and lupus, things like that. There's an interesting issue in that population here in Louisiana because they're having trouble getting the drug. Attorney General Jeff Landry said that this supply that he is getting and is being donated is supposed to help both the doctors and that population. So it's supposed to help keep those folks on their Plaquenil to keep their symptoms down, which is usually swelling and that sort of thing. So LSU is in the midst of a multi-university study nationwide so that people like Dr. Anthony Fauci and Dr. Alex Bu can get up there in front of the public and say, this is a wonder drug for this, or this is a good therapeutic method. It doesn't cure everybody, but it does help. So hopefully that study will get done in the next 90 to 120 days, and we'll see what happens. Parish Council is going to meet tonight. I know a lot of you missed those folks. It'll be a short meeting. There's only a few items on the agenda. They will be introducing a resolution to put the renewal for the parish's road tax on the fall ballot. It's 1 cent sales tax. 25% of that 1 cent goes towards the detention center. The rest of it goes into the road fund program. They'll also be discussing Nickens Lake. Just 2 months ago, time flies, they introduced a resolution to allow a waiver for Nickens Lake to not have an extra entry and exit despite meeting a parish ordinance. For there to be a separate entrance and exit because with their third filing, they're going to reach enough lots to require that. That was a lot. Parish Councilman Tracy Girlinghouse was the big push in that. It came in 2018, that rule that subdivisions needed multiple entries and exits if they reached a certain amount of lots. Now, Girlinghouse, was opposed to this. He was the one nay vote. Now it is in the Council District 5, that's R.C. Bubba Harris. He's now saying, well, I'm going to come back and rescind that, and we need to talk to DSLD. Of course, Nickens Lake is a DSLD subdivision off of 4-H Club Road. It is also the place where the school board owns land, and it is the potential site of Denham Springs High School 2, whatever that might be. But that's years away, that high school. So don't think that that's coming anytime soon. So anyway, they'll be discussing those two items. The meeting will be digital. It'll be online. You can check it out on Channel 17, or you can watch it at actionnews17.com live. I will also be posting live updates on our Facebook page and on my Twitter. You can check there. And of course, they will take up until today at 5 p.m. They will take public comment on either one of those two items. You may also go up there, but you have to understand they're only allowing one person into the council chambers with the council at any given time because they will be spread out throughout the room to meet social distancing requirements. They will also, if you are in the lobby, they will only allow less than 10 people in the lobby, and they must be 6 feet apart. Otherwise, you got to stand outside. So there is going to be some interesting, probably why they only have two items on the agenda. There's going to be a little trial and error today. But again, that's going to start at 6 p.m. You can email your public input to steal@lpc.gov. Again, that's STEAL at lpc.gov. You have up until 5 p.m. today to email her any kind of public input or questions. If you are looking to come speak to the parish council, you're going to have to show up and sign up by 5:50 p.m. If you have not signed up by 5:50 p.m. to speak on either one of the items, you will be asked to leave. Again, that's the parish council meeting will begin tonight at 6 p.m. The Carters Family Grocery is asking that families only bring in one member of the family to try to adhere to strict social distancing rules. I know a lot of people only have a certain amount of time to get to the grocery and get home during the day, and they're in and out. But they are asking that large families try to, have someone stay at home with the kids. Only send one person. Try to only have one person per family in the store at any given time. Of course, Carter's has adjusted their hours. They're offering an hour in the morning for seniors, and they are closing earlier to give them time to restock and disinfect shelves. LSU is giving a grading option to graduating seniors. You can either accept a pass-fail grade or you can accept your standard letter grade. According to LSU, there won't be a necessary effect either way unless some folks are heading for some kind of GPA or need a certain GPA. Then they can accept their tried and true letter grades. Otherwise, they can accept the pass-fail and move on. Actually, excuse me, I said for graduating seniors. That's for all students at LSU. All students at LSU can either accept their regular letter grade or a pass-fail. A-Bear's Cajun Meats expanded to A-Bear's Seafood Shack at 51662 LA Highway 16, and they expanded and opened the first day right before, the day before the governor started the social distancing and stay-at-home orders. They have continued to go through business. They are doing crawfish and all that kind of stuff on a daily basis. Now, today, starting at noon, they will be offering free pastelaia. They've got about 30 gallons of it. This is due to tons of donations coming in from the community after they had announced that they had opened, and then everything that happened. So, of course, you can stop by anytime at noon. That's 51662 LA Highway 16. And anytime after noon to grab a plate of pastelaia. Again, 51662 LA Highway 16. That's A-Bear's Seafood Shack. Kim and Sherry Curley, one of whom is a former Golden Girl, have been working with a crew to make a ton of cloth masks, and they've also made about 60 disposable suits for hospitals, 300 masks in total between a large group of ladies and Kim and Sherry Curley. So thank you to those ladies. You can read about them at www.livingstonparishnews.com/coronavirus. And last but certainly not least, and I suppose I should have said this first because there are probably a lot of people that sat here like, just give us the Lane Hardian information so that I can leave. Well, I got you. I made you wait. You had to listen to all the coronavirus stuff. But Lane Hardy did announce yesterday, that would be Wednesday, that his new music is coming Friday. That would be tomorrow. He also has a 16-stop virtual tour, which is kind of neat. He said that he just wants to keep making Louisiana proud, and especially during this time, he wants to bring good music to the folks, especially here from his home parish in Livingston Parish. Of course, as we mentioned, you can read about this at www.livingstonparishnews.com/coronavirus. If you are interested in the songs or where his virtual tour is stopping, you can check it out at lanehardymusic.com. Again, that's LANEHRDYMUSIC.com. One last time, with your coronavirus statistics, please remember 17,030 cases in Louisiana, 652 deaths, 1,983 hospitalized, 490 on vents, 99 Livingston Parish cases on 278 total tests, 15,000 deaths. Nationwide. Please remember, and we're going to say this again tomorrow, heading into the Easter weekend, please remember that these mitigation efforts are working. If we choose not to follow them, we're only going to bring it on ourselves. Again, that's exactly what the governor said. This is going to go away just as quickly as we work for it too. So please remember, yes, it's Easter. Try to connect with your family. Try a Zoom conference with your family. Get on the phone with them, something like that. Just, try to keep your social distancing. Try to stay at home. I'm not even say try. Just please stay at home during this Easter holiday. We'll have a fun one next year. But as we wait for the vaccine and therapeutic methods to treat it, to come out and be clinically proven right now the stay-at-home order is still in effect. The mitigation efforts are working. We do not want to subvert our own efforts. So please, please, please stay at home. Of course, we'll talk about it again tomorrow. Your traffic patterns are the usual today. Minor delays at 4-H Club Road, River Road, and 190 in Denham Springs. Minor delays at Range Avenue and 190, and minor delays at Jubin and 190. Didn't slip that one up this time. It's currently 69 degrees. 87 degrees is your high. 58 degrees your overnight low. You got a little bit of a cold front coming in, looking at some overnight thunderstorms. Please remember your mitigation efforts. Wash your hands for 20 seconds or more. Disinfect common surfaces at home and at work. Control your cough. Don't touch your face. I always want to be dramatic with that one because I forgot it all the time. Don't touch your face. Please don't touch your face. 6 feet of distance between you and others. That's social distancing in public and at home if you can. No gatherings of 10 or more, preferably no gatherings at all outside of your core family unit. And stay home if you're sick and utilize telehealth to get in touch with your doctor. One last time, I do apologize for being late. I had a dog get out this morning. Again, it's interesting what you deal with these stay-at-home orders and working from home. But my name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you guys joining us this morning for the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. We are on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. Once a week in print on Thursdays. We are also online, www.livingstonparishnews.com. We do have a coronavirus page, which is free. All the information is free. Please remember, we do upload these shows to our website, www.livingstonparishnews.com/podcast. We do hope you have a great day. It is going to be a little cloudy, but we hope you enjoy the day, enjoy your time at home with your family, and we will be back home with you tomorrow.